Okay, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about my nonprofit, Stuck Designs, as well as something really interesting that happened in the media today. So, Stuck Designs stands for Strong, Talented, United, and Knowledgeable, and we are a community of women, actually all people, entrepreneurs mainly, who really are all about supporting girls of color in underserved communities and trying to get them more self-love and art, resources, programs, etc. So my nonprofit has two very solid programs, and we're just pushing for expansion right now, really. And, we're really trying to drive home the point that art heals. It really heals. And self-love heals. It really heals. And especially during this time, and especially in the world that we're living in right now, it's crazy. And there is so much chaos. And, it's not easy always to push or touch upon topics that people are, in most cases, frightened to death to talk about due to fear of what other people might think. And that is, in essence, mental health. But Bill Murray really took it there today. And, that was super dope. And it really excited me because I'm just like, when are people going to start acting like mental health issues aren't something that each and every one of us deal with, to a varying degree? And I think it's just so important that we start opening these walls of communication and start communicating together as a collective, as a, global community about how so deeply important art, creativity, and just being aware of yourself is. And everyone is so blinded right now by media, by social media, by each other, by drama, by hate, by judgment, by fear, by doubt, by everything. And a lot of people are internalizing this in very toxic and super detrimental ways. And Bill Murray really just talked about how he was thinking about committing suicide and saw a painting and it changed him. So I'll let you see this clip.
Well, I think it would be back when I started acting in Chicago. I wasn't very good, and I remember my first experience on the stage. I was so bad I just walked out on the street and started walking. And I walked for a couple of hours, and I realized I'd walked the wrong direction. Not just the wrong direction in terms of where I live, but the wrong direction in terms of a desire to stay alive. And so this may be a little bit not completely true, but it's pretty true that I walked. I then thought, well, if I'm going to die where I am, I may as well just go over towards the lake. And maybe I'll float for a while after I'm dead. So I walked over towards the lake, and as I got there, I realized I'd hit Michigan Avenue. And I thought, well, Michigan Avenue, that runs north too. And so I started walking north, and I ended up in front of the Art Institute of Chicago. And I just walked inside, and I didn't feel like I had any place being there. And they used to ask you for a donation, when you walk into a museum, and I just walked right through because I was ready to die and pretty much dead. And I walked in, and there's a painting there, and I don't even know who painted it, but I think it's called the Song of the Lark, and it's a woman working in a field, and there's a sunrise behind her. And I've always loved this painting, and I saw it that day, and I just thought, well, look, there's a girl who doesn't have a whole lot of prospects, but the sun's coming up anyway, and she's got another chance at it. So I think that gave me some sort of feeling that I too am a person and get another chance every day the sun comes up.
And I just love that it just made my day, because it's like, wow, somebody's actually taking like accountability and ownership for like something that we all go through as a global community. Like, and it just took it there, and he was authentically himself, do you? And he owned it. He owned his trauma, his situation, his pain, and he, just uplifted society by doing so. And in essence, that's what Stuck is trying to do. And we're trying to like open, these lines of communication, and let's really talk about self-love, which is an aspect of mental health. And let's talk about how powerful art is. And these things are not scary. They're not, detrimental. They're, things that like, it seems scary to talk about. Like, even for me, it's scary to talk about, my mental health, or, ways that I've evolved and grown out of it, etc. So, I think often like Stuck Designs is viewed as more like having this, utopian view of just like love and light, and it's just crafts and girls, but it's so much deeper than that. And it's just so much about, building back community from the aftermath of this pandemic. And, the pandemic has affected everyone in so many ways, but it's really like how it's affecting people internally that's the issue at this point. Because, our internal state always dictates our external reality. Like anything that is manifested, externally, we know that was created first with a thought, first with a view, first with a vision. And right now, a lot of people's internal spaces are not very positive and are not very light-filled, are not very creatively filled